So here's what's going on lately. Well, actually, it's been going on for 20 years. And it says, ban assault weapons now. Guns are killing us. Well, let me show you what I know from as a gun owner. Here's my 9mm. These are bullets. These are hollow point bullets. This is a, let's see, it says North Carolina concealed handgun permit. So I can carry that weapon on me for self-protection. Now, is that gun going to kill anybody? Are these bullets going to kill anybody? Are they? They just seem to be sitting there doing nothing until that weapon gets into the wrong hands. That's the problem with gun control. It is not gun control. It should be people control. Let me elaborate a little more. So let's start with the latest mass shooting in Uvalde, Texas. Did guns kill these 21 people? Or did this guy, Salvador Ramos, buy guns and he killed 21 people? We've got to get this straight. The guns didn't just go to the school by themselves, like my gun that I showed you a minute ago doesn't walk out of my house by itself. So what do we know about this Salvador Ramos? According to CNN News, he was described as a loner with no social life whatsoever. His classmates bullied him because of the way he wore his clothes and so forth and so on. And he was a loner, and he set himself apart from everyone else. He had no friends whatsoever. So they picked on him. And earlier in the school year, his classmates even called him school shooter, long before he became one. So let's see, how many times do you get called school shooter before, and you're mentally not well, before you want to get back at people? So now his classmates nicknamed him school shooter, according to CNN News. He always got into fights at school, and he posted messages online before the shooting happened. Message number one, as you can read as well as I can, it says, "I'm going to shoot my grandmother." Who in their right mind, you, me, do we post up online that we're going to go shoot our grandmother? And in fact, he did shoot his grandmother. She's alive, got shot in the jaw, I guess. And but who does that? Somebody stable? No. Somebody mentally unstable, unbalanced, vindictive, rage within that person due to whatever circumstances have infiltrated his mindset. The second thing he says, "I'm going to shoot an elementary school." He posted it. Therefore, people knew. Did they say anything? Did they alert authorities? No. Did his schoolmates alert the school and the teachers? I suspect that they did. So did the school fail to notify the proper authorities that this guy is heading in the wrong direction and maybe he needs counseling? My thoughts here is anybody who needs counseling and goes to a therapist or a psychologist, to me, the psychologist should notify authorities, that is, anybody in charge of selling guns, the police, whatever, they should notify him, do not sell this person a gun. For whatever reason they don't have to mention. But that gives the impression that this guy should not have a gun. Okay. The other thing is that a year ago, according to CNN News, just below Salvador Ramos, age 18's picture, says that a year ago, he asked his sister to buy him a gun. She flatly refused. Why? Because she knows her brother? Because she knows he should not have a gun? Or was it because he was not 18 yet? We'll never know, but his sister knew that he asked her to buy a gun. Did she report this to anybody? No. So this guy went stealth all the way through. Everybody knew, but he went stealth all the way through until he did what he said he was going to do. So therefore, let me ask you this question again. Did guns go into that school and shoot people? No, guns didn't. My gun never leaves my home. Well, if it does, I'm packing on the side. But the gun doesn't kill people. It's people that have problems that kill people. Especially in this younger generation. They're told global warming, you're going to die in 12 years anyway. What's the use of living? It's crazy out there. So, gun control or people control? Be right back. And just before the massacre in Uvalde, Texas, there was another shooter in Buffalo, New York. This guy, his name is Peyton Gendron, age 18. He killed 10 people in this top supermarket. Black people. He sought out to kill black people. Okay, what do we know about this guy? Did the gun that he bought at age 18 kill those people all by itself? Or did this guy, who might have been a little bit mentally deranged, did he, in his mental deficiency state, did he decide and pre-plan to go into top supermarket in Buffalo, New York and kill as many people as he possibly could? The answer to that is yes. People kill, guns don't kill. What do we know about Peyton Gendron? Well, we know this. He wrote a little thesis in his high school, and it was a sort of a manifesto that said it was all about murder and suicide. It captured the attention of the state police. I guess the school department may have, somebody notified the state police, and they brought him in for mental health evaluation. He was evaluated, and he said, well, I wrote that because, I was stupid at the time. Anyway, he got released. What else do we know about this guy? Well, on March the 10th, he posted, I'm going to have to kill the security guard at Tops. He visited the place 3 times before he actually went there to intentionally kill as many people as possible. Is this a sane person at age 18? What influenced this guy? He posted a 180-page manifesto telling of his plans. Nobody reported this. I know this, if I read that my next door neighbor who posted something online and I read it, I'd be calling the cops. I'd be calling somebody and say, this guy has a problem. What else? He described himself as an anti-Semite, hated Jews, hated black people. He described himself online as a white supremacist. So, did nobody know this? His parents claimed they didn't know anything about it. His friends, other than in school, they depicted him as a loner and an oddball. Well, same similarities exist in this guy, a mass shooter, than it did in the Uvalde, Texas mass shooter. Loner, no friends, got an axe to grind, got a grudge, posts things that he's going to do online for what? To get attention maybe? I don't know. But no, mentally stable people don't do what this guy did. And yet 10 people are dead because nobody around him bothered to notify any kind of authorities. And then whoever evaluated him and let him go, to me, even if you're evaluated and the state police bring you in for evaluation of your mental health, Somebody dropped the ball who should have notified anybody who issues gun permits or sells guns. There has to be a way to say, do not sell this person a gun. Be right back. So let's now go all the way back to 2014 at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut. The shooter there was Adam Lanza. Did he have mental problems? You bet he did. Did the guns that his mother left all around the house kill those people? No. They didn't just get up from the house and go to Sandy Hook. Adam Lanza brought those guns, miniguns, including an AR-15 style rifle, with him with the intent to kill people. Sane people don't do this. What do we know about Adam Lanza, age 22 at the time of the mass shooting and at the time of his self-inflicted death? Well, he shot and killed his mother right off the bat. Her name was Nancy Lanza, and she used to bring him to a gun range all the time to improve his shooting skills. She knew that he was born with Asperger's syndrome. You can see that at the bottom of this. Let me read it for you. It's a developmental disorder where young people with Asperger's syndrome have a difficult time relating to others, socially inept, and their behavior and thinking patterns can get rigid and repetitive and off the track of normalcy. So he was born with this, and yet he obtained a gun. How did he obtain it? Did he buy it at age 22? No. Let's say that you could buy a gun and they put gun restriction laws to age 105. Is that going to prevent people like this guy, Adam Lanza, who's psychologically unbalanced, who kills his mother, or the other guy who shot his grandmother in the face? Is it going to prevent people like this from obtaining a gun? No. Okay, what else do we know about Adam Lanza? He was described as socially awkward. Okay, who described him as that? Well, his fellow students. His teacher, while he attended Sandy Hook earlier in his life, by the way, reprimanded him because he wrote a book deeply rooted in violence. She reprimanded him. Did she report this to any authorities? Did any psychological profiler, including a teacher, let's say, report this kid's activity to anyone who could prevent him from having a gun? No. Did his mother do right by leaving all of the guns in her house around while she left the house because she wanted to trust him with the guns? I'll show you what I do with my gun in just a minute, but I want to point out that in this case, to me, the mother was totally responsible for this kid's actions and his activity. Even though he was mentally unbalanced, she left all the guns in the world around loosely, trying to fix this kid's problems. Okay. He had a driver's license, and again, it points out that his mother left her guns out in the open so that he could go to the gun range and perfect his shooting skills. He was born with a psychological disorder. That disorder was reported as Asperger's syndrome. So, were the guns at fault in this case? No. The psychologically unbalanced kid, well, man now at age 22, took it upon himself to go and do destructive work. Some people call that evil. He was mentally unbalanced. So is the problem the guns that get up by themselves and go and shoot people? Or is the problem people who get up, take guns, buy guns, steal guns, and go do mass shootings or just shootings in general? Let's play a little bit more about this people versus guns are the problems. Do they have to outlaw guns? No. If they did that, then guns would be obtained illegally like they are now. Let me display that next, and then I'll get off my soapbox. Yeah, I have grandkids over and all that stuff. Do you think, unlike Adam Lanza's mother, I leave my weapon or weapons out laying around? Absolutely not. They go into a safe. See behind me? Closed. Combination to open. Only person in the world that knows it is me. And then to the right there, you see the safe is open. And on the top shelf are my bullets, hollow point and regular shooting firing range bullets. A clip is down below on the middle shelf, and then my gun sits in the bottom shelf along with the carry bag. Of course, I have a holster that I wear on my belt when I go out because it's pretty dangerous out there these days. That's why guns were made and authorized by the Congress, is for protection of life and property. My house, my studio, whatever. Okay, so that's how guns should be taken care of. Do I put the gun in my trunk? No. If I did, I would put it into a safe place underneath the mat where the tire goes. Do I put rifle associations, NRA flags and stickers on my car? No. Why don't I do that? Aren't I a proud NRA owner? Well, sure. But why advertise to everybody going by your car that you're an NRA guy or woman, and they're going to say, well, gee, there's probably a gun in the glove compartment or somewhere in there. They're going to break your window open, crank your trunk open, whatever, and take your weapon. Don't be stupid. You are responsible for your own weapon and the storage and safety of it. You, nobody else. The people in these terrorist or shooters' lives, in my estimation, were partially responsible for the action that the shooter, mass killer, deranged lunatic, whatever, took, because they knew and they shut their mouth. You shouldn't shut your mouth. I'll be right back. So let's wrap this up. Here's the news from where I live in South Carolina, specifically around the Charlotte, North Carolina area. Shootings occur every 5 hours. Every 5 hours. Oh, by the way, it says gun violence, as though the guns are violent. Shootings occur every 5 hours this summer in North Carolina, according to the I investigative team. On average, there is one shooting every 5 hours or one incident every 4 hours and 48 minutes, according to data by Maggie Green, blah, blah, blah. 420 shootings since Memorial Day. That's May 31st. This is now what, June 9th? So basically 9 days, 420 shootings. More than one shooting every 5 hours. Now, I noticed something in North Carolina, especially in the Charlotte area. A lot of this is gang-related stuff. Kids getting guns illegally, and then they have an argument. They've had arguments at nightclubs, by the way, and mass shootings occur. 10 dead, 15 dead. They have, anytime there's a disagreement in Charlotte area or Detroit or New York City or whatever, it doesn't make any difference. Somebody whips out a gun to settle the argument, and a shooting happens. There's shootings out in the street. There's random shootings, not really random. There's shootings at homes, in towns. Why? This guy is dealing drugs. That guy stole my drugs. Whatever it is, guns are these violent guns are shooting all by themselves with nobody holding the trigger. The violence comes from human beings, not from guns. You know it, I know it. Yet they're it's all political, folks, I hate to tell you. Mostly Democrats are trying to take everyone's gun away. Why? They have more control. Communist China took everybody's guns away. Venezuela takes guns away. So that the only thing you can do if there is a massive communist takeover in the United States, for example, and that's anti-constitution, they can't do that. We have the right to defend ourselves. So most of these countries that have taken guns away from their citizens, the citizens now, you see it on TV, they have to throw rocks, sticks. That isn't going to work. That's not what the Constitution allows us as freedom-loving individuals to protect ourselves, our life, and our property, and against governments that tend to take more authority than they are allowed to do. So that's my soapbox. I'm off it. If you disagree, I don't care. You can write your comments in the comment section. If YouTube allows me to even display this, we know how it's a sensitive issue. See you next time. So as I wrap this up, here's the final question that I've written above my little head. Are guns violent or are people violent? I'm showing pictures of the Uvalde, Texas shooter, the Salvador Ramos, Peyton Gendron, the Buffalo supermarket mass shooter, and then there's all the 2014 Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting in Connecticut. That mass shooter was Adam Lanza. Salvador Ramos was 18, sure. Peyton Gendron was 18, sure. Adam Lanza was 22. Okay, if they want to change the gun laws to protect people, they could make the gun laws the age of 105, like I said earlier. It doesn't matter. You got people like this over here that are just nuts. They're going to be determined to kill people, whether by automobile, by bomb, by guns, or by knives, or any other weapon that they have. Spears. There's these, what do they call them? Bow and arrow things that are high powered. I mean, there's a million ways to kill people, but those aren't violent weapons. The people that get these weapons into their hands legally or illegally are violent people. So with that, I bid you adieu. You know, and I know, that people are violent. Guns are not violent. Guns are dormant things, just like your cell phone isn't violent. But if I took this cell phone and beat somebody over the head with it, that would be a violent item, right? Now, see you later.